maybe there isn't a way out of that situation and it is going to crash and burn, but it is a learning experience.
Right.
But people look at those things and a lot of people tuck them away as a negative interaction or a negative experience or a negative situation. And they don't realize that there is a power that is attached to it. Because like, as you say, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Deep MCs, the podcast that seeks to push meaningful conversation to a whole new level. Whether it's for your entertainment or your personal growth, we appreciate you being here today. And now, on to the show. What's going on, man?
What's good, bro?
I just realized, God damn it, I do this every time. I just realized that I came in really fast and really hot. It was
it's okay.
Like the intro wasn't even done. As what's going on, man? I'm just so excited to.
Yeah, man. I'm excited too.
Get on, right? Some good conversation, some pre-conversation. I'm fired up.
Yeah,
fired up,
I mean,
man.
you know,
it is
really fast and really hot isn't a bad way to enter.
It's not. I mean, I guess it depends on what you're talking about.
Yeah,
because anal sex coming fast.
You know what? I opened that. Literally, I did, and I regret it now. But
you already
it's
know
okay.
You already know where it's.
I should have known
where it's gonna go. Anyway, what are we getting into today?
I'm trying to remember now because my brain is shot. But man, we're talking about the boogeyman. Yeah. I think one of the things we always attribute the boogeyman to something that's external, but what about that man that's in the mirror? Like
looking at the man in the mirror.
Are you looking at the man in the mirror?
Or woman.
Or woman in the mirror.
Or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever you're looking at whatever the reflection is in the mirror.
Exactly. That's what we're looking at. And I think that a lot of times we attribute failures, missing out, not being successful to other people.
Yeah.
If this person's standing in my way, or this person's doing this, or this person's doing that, and we don't stand back and say, "Hey, look at myself.
Mm-hmm.
This is me.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Yep.
I'm hurting myself.
I think that self-reflection, man, is as important or more important than almost anything else at the end of the day, man. Because
for sure,
if you're not going back and identifying, kind of game planning on how I could have done better or how did I contribute to the way that things are,
1,000%.
And most of us, a lot of people, man, refuse to take that responsibility.
No, because nobody wants to say that they're the reason why they failed. That's a hard thing. That's a hard pill to swallow, to be like, my failure rests solely on my shoulders.
Yeah. But it's actually the best place to be. And I say that. I say taking that responsibility on. I see that face. Taking that responsibility on, right? Being at that place where you're saying, I failed, gives you the opportunity to fix it, to actually evaluate what you did wrong. But if you take no responsibility for it, then you're living in this place of this naive place as if you didn't contribute. Then you never deal with part of the root cause.
No, for sure. And I don't know. I would like to say that I struggle with that a little bit in a way. But at the same time, I think I also find myself taking on failure that's not my failure.
I see that. I think that is the bigger issue, and I've seen, and I think we all do that to a certain extent, right?
No, for sure.
Is we take the full responsibility. Like there's a balance that has to happen with it all, right?
Yeah.
So you're not always the culprit, but then you're not always the heroine either. You're not. There's a balance in the middle because you hear it say there's three truths, right? There's yours, there's mine, and then there's the real truth.
Yeah, what's really there.
What's really there, right? And so all of it is based on perception. But based on your perception, are you open and available to hearing, bro, you screwed up?
No, a lot of people are not, and it's interesting. I encounter quite a few people. I mean, even in working now, where no matter what's said, they're never wrong.
Yeah, right.
You're
never wrong.
You're never wrong, but it is a hard thing to say, okay, hey, so let me step back.
Why though?
That's what I want to know. Why is it? I think it's in general, a lot of time. I mean, it's always easier to, like to say, where you give the advice as opposed to take the advice,
Mm-hmm.
right? Do as I say, not as
not as I do.
Not as I do.
Yeah.
I was pondering this myself over the last week, and saying there's a lot of things that go wrong, or I'm doing wrong, or I feel that I'm doing wrong, but they're easily fixable if you just accept, or you just speak, or you just whatever, and you can't do it. And that's why, right, the person that's in the mirror is the one that's holding you back. If you're miserable for whatever reason, or if you didn't get something for whatever reason, or a lot of it comes down to you. What did you do about it? Mm-hmm. What did you do about it? What did you do to make a change? Did you speak up? Did you try something different? Did you wake up a little earlier? Did you didn't do any of those things.
Yeah.
You didn't do any of those things. So do you really have a right to complain? Like, you want to?
Of course I have a right to complain.
Do you though?
Yeah, I have a right to complain.
Not if you didn't do shit.
I still have a right to complain. Now, does it make sense, right?
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. It's a whole nother story, right? And I think that's what it comes down to. I find myself, I'm trying to I'm trying to do a little meditation.
Okay.
In the mornings.
Okay.
Just keep myself from driving off a fucking bridge.
Let's meditate more than than
But
yeah.
I try to now look at how I'm handling life on a day-to-day basis, and how I'm handling life going forward, and just reflecting on what can I tweak a little bit, right? We talk about tweaking things. What can I tweak today that's gonna help?
It's small adjustments, bro. It's small adjustments, right? We talked about pulling the trigger on something, right? And you're an advocate of pulling the trigger, right?
Shoot it all.
But you don't know how to adjust unless you pull the trigger, right?
Yeah.
If you pull the trigger, you hit the target, but it's a little farther down, then you know how to adjust, right? And if you have somebody in your corner who understands firing shots, right, then they can tell you, okay, make this small adjustment, hold it a little tighter here, adjust your body here. That's where it's going off, right? And so you make these small adjustments and you get closer to the target each time if you apply that information. But if you don't apply it, you're going to continue to stay off target, right?
No, for sure.
But I believe that it is, at this point, I don't know that it's everybody's talking about these huge changes and almost starting over, and that's one of the reasons why I don't like the New Year's resolutions, because it's almost as if you didn't do anything to build on to January 1st, right?
Yeah.
And so now you wipe the slate clean and you almost start over
brand new,
right? Yeah. And that negates the work that you put in the past 365 days, right?
No, for sure. I mean, it really does. Like the starting over is terrible, but I think that there is and I guess this is kind of where it ties into you being your own worst nightmare, or your own boogeyman, in a sense, is it all ties together in the fact that it rests on you. I think starting over gives people the feeling that they didn't fail.
Yeah.
Right. It's like,
right.
I didn't fail.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really going to hit it hard.
Yeah.
On Monday.
Right.
Or I'm really going to,
right.
January 1st, I'm really going to do, whatever it is.
Rather than sitting in and saying, you know what, I screwed that up.
Yeah. I shit the bed, and this is how I'm going to clean it up.
Yeah.
And no, they don't want to do that. They're just, okay, you know what? Don't worry about it. But I think it's kind of ingrained though too, right? Because if you get into if you get into an argument with somebody, or you butt heads with somebody, or you do whatever, like they'll be like, all right, no, it's fine, clean slate. Like, you know, like, no, not clean slate. Like, let's talk about why this happened,
so that we can not do that again.
Yeah, so it doesn't happen again. You know, but no, we always just want to wipe everything clean, because then there's no.
The problem is it's never clean.
It's not. It's
never clean, right? It's you know, you take the black light and you're gonna see all of the truth, right? You know, so we say we're gonna wipe it clean, but there's a thought in the back of your mind. You've changed how you operate with that person. There's some change that has happened, and that slate is never really clean.
No,
there's always some residue left on that thing.
On that chalkboard.
Yeah.
There's always gonna be chalk.
In the shower, there's a film that's still on the glass, right?
It's always, well, I can't afford glass, so I don't know about you, sir, but I got a Walmart shower curtain. So,
where there's still some film on the curtain.
You know, I throw it in the washing machine and. Did you know that you can wash your shower curtain?
Yes, I did.
All right. A lot of people don't wash the liners. You gotta throw them away. Wash the liners.
That's your new tidbit.
That's your new tidbit for the day. Yeah. Wash your damn liners. No, but that is very much so true. And I want people to start looking at themselves. I don't think people really look at themselves. I think they do in moments of desperation, in moments of crisis, when your back's up against the wall. You want to now take that time to look and be like, okay, what can I do, but not apply that to the day-to-day. And I mean, I get it. It's exhausting to have to constantly reevaluate and reassess yourself, you know, on a repeated basis. Like, that is something that is difficult, but at the same time, like, you're never gonna have any type of growth or change if you're not.
Man, the boogeyman is not as scary if you shine the light on him.
Well, I mean, I don't know, depends what they look like.
I'm just saying, you know, if because ultimately the boogeyman is hiding under the bed. You know, when you're a kid, right? He's hiding under the bed. He's in the closet. He's in the darker places, right? Yeah. If you continue to shine the light on those darker places in your own character, those darker places in your own thoughts, those darker places in your own ability to admit you were wrong. Where did that come from? Why do you feel like you have to defend every move you make? Why are you never able to say, I'm sorry? Like, where do those things come from?
Yeah.
Can we deal with those things? Because then they'll help us to have better relationships on this end, right? And I mean, it's funny you said that, not funny, but it's, you know, you're starting meditation. And I started the year off with like, I wrote an affirmation that I start off my day with now, right? And I read through it every day. So now, reading through the consistency of that every day, my day has begun to shift, right? Because everything about me is not locked into what do I have to do, this, that, or what happened last night, and still focusing on that. I changed my thought process and I align it so that the boogeyman isn't as big this morning.
No, I mean, that's a great thing to do. You know, it's a great thing to do. I mean, I probably should have something like that, because for me, when I meditate, I usually end up falling asleep. Right?
Well, you get some rest.
You wake up, you try to meditate, and next thing you know, you're falling asleep sitting up. But, you know, maybe affirmations are the way to go when it comes down to that. But also, part of that too, and what you're saying, you know, I'm working through this thing. It's not really an idea, but it's really like everybody's always said, hey, the truth hurts, but it has to be told, right?
Okay.
And I think a lot of times when people hear that saying, they attribute it to giving someone else the truth, but not giving themselves the truth, right? And that hurts more than anything, is when you have to give that to yourself. And I still struggle now, like, trying to figure out why. I'm decently outspoken, but there's just certain things. Yeah, I'm decent. You know, I don't think I feel like I'm a little reserved.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of times.
Is that your?
You gotta be. It's my hot take.
Oh, okay. All right.
Excuse me. Yeah.
We'll go with that.
Well, yeah, just mildly.
If you're mildly
outspoken.
Okay.
Because I don't get full freedom to say how I feel.
Everything. We need a filter. It's okay to have a filter on.
Just a little, but sometimes I feel like a filter is not necessarily always needed. Sometimes you just got to put it out there and just hey.
And you do.
That's when you get the best. The truest form is when you're gonna say, hey,
okay.
This is how I don't know, but I find now that I haven't been truthful with myself in a lot of situations. In a lot of situations, like if I really sit back and I play through all these areas that I'm trying to improve, I was lying to myself about this. I was lying to myself about that. I was lying to myself, and I'm to the point of being able to acknowledge it now, but it's like, how do you change that? And that's the hard part, is making that change within myself to go back and correct those, because it's still hard.
Yep.
It's still hard to do. And
you got to deal with those emotions and all of those feelings, man, that you stacked up and tried to, throw over there in the pile and assume that they weren't going to ever cause an issue.
Yeah.
And some of that, the unresolved things that we just like, okay, I'm good and I moved on. No, they're lingering, they're hanging out. They're just waiting for the opportune time to make a fool out of you.
Yeah.
where you begin to, you started on one situation and the anger of it all of this, all of the fire, the rest of that just fell out, right? Yeah. And it's right here, and then now it creates a situation that you never thought it would have, right?
Yeah, a whole nother pile,
whole nother thing, right?
Demon shit that you have to deal with,
Yeah.
And
and you were the person.
Yeah,
it was because you didn't deal with this. Now it's come back to bite you in a serious way, and you have to stand in the mirror and say, you know what, you are the issue in this one. You are the problem. Sir, ma'am, you right here. Yes. Me, you.
And that doesn't happen. And I'm glad that you said that, because that's something that I think about as well too. Everybody, well, I don't want to say everybody, I don't know everybody. The majority of people have some sort of baggage that they tote around, right? And there's a reason for that baggage, whatever it is. Whether it's self-inflicted, inflicted by others, or whatever, but they carry that and they don't let it go. And that baggage becomes someone else's baggage at some point in time. And that baggage creates issues, right? Creates back pain, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, right.
And then it's like, okay, well, I'm still not going to fix me. I'm going to try to fix the situation because of my baggage. Or maybe not even realize it's because of your baggage, but you're trying to fix the situation and not addressing the main situation. And then it just feeds itself and feeds each other and turns into this monster of a thing. And never once, people are so obsessed with today. How do I get through today? How do I survive today? What am I going to do today? What am I going to do tonight? Like, in this timeline of life, as short as it is, no one wants to look back and say, how do I fix this so I can be better tomorrow?
Yeah.
No one wants to say, okay, well, this is where I am today, but where do I want to be 20 years from now? You know?
And I know it sounds real boring, but how many of us really sit down at the end of the day and evaluate what did my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right? How many do a SWOT analysis on your day?
I get PTSD from the word SWAT.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
can we say
reassess?
reassess?
How do we assess our day? Right.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. They don't have that debrief. They don't have that. Let me work through it.
But because in addition to the things that I need to work on, what it also does is it brings into perspective the things that I did do well, right? And it creates a level of balance that you're not so one-sided, because there are some people who are always going to lean to the the negative. They're gonna always lean to the I'm not good enough. They're gonna always
Right.
lean to the, what I did will never be good enough, right? And that has to be balanced just as well as believing that I'm the greatest too.
I'm feeling personally attacked. I'm feeling
Yeah, I mean, hey, if the shoe fits, put that sucker on.
right. Put it on. Put it on.
Look-
No, I mean, I agree and disagree with your statements.
Okay,
Sir.
all right.
Because I am negatively, I'm a negative leaner, and maybe that's me needing to look in the mirror and say, hey, you need to.
That's what we are talking about
right,
today.
Maybe you need to reassess how you look at things, but at the same time,
What is the butt for? What was the butt?
sitting and shitting. That's what butts are for. It's what they say. Put that on a t-shirt. No, I operate better in negativity.
Have you ever operated in positivity to balance, to try to see if it works?
I can't do it.
You can. You just choose. You just choose to hold on to that bag. I think that's it. I think there's some security in the negative bag for you, because it's gonna take work to change that.
But possibly, but that's what life is about. It's about the progression of oneself.
Of course,
If
you're willing to do that, right? Everybody's not willing to do that work, or just gonna be fine with how they are. This is how we hear it all the time. We probably said it. This is how I'm gonna be. I'm not changing. I'm too old for this. I'm not changing. Can't teach old dog new tricks. Whatever.
Not doing it.
Whatever statement you've said, all of it is the same thing that says what I am is who I'm gonna be, and I'm not changing.
Period. Done.
Right.
Hands down.
On period. Whatever it is that that we're saying right now.
I don't even know what we're saying right now.
I don't even know what that
The
means. But
lingo is
on period. Yeah.
on
That
period.
means it stopped. It's not going any further, I'm assuming.
Why we have to constantly just say new things is beyond me. I don't know. I mean, I agree with that. I personally am not at the point to where I want to sit down my bag.
Okay.
This is one of them situations.
You're being honest.
I like to, yes.
You're being honest.
I'm being honest. I like my bag. This is the bag that I've carried.
Mm-hmm.
Is comfortable and worn in.
Yep.
The leather is now soft from years of carrying
and dragging.
The bag is now broken in nice. Why?
And it's become a part of your everyday life.
It is a statement piece.
Yeah.
It is a statement piece at this point.
You paid a lot for it, right?
Yeah.
It's invaluable.
You can't put a price on it. People are going to look at this bag and say, "Hey, that's vintage. It's nice. Where did you get it from?" I'm gonna say you can't pay for this the way I paid for this bag. So why do I want to trade that in for recyclable grocery bag? I don't know, like IKEA 99-cent
The blue bag.
Why am I gonna trade that in for that when I got this nice leather bag over here?
Because that leather bag is killing you. Yeah,
Well,
that's exactly why.
no, plastic is killing people, is what it is.
Well, you don't have to go get the plastic. You can choose another bag.
But that's the, I guess ultimately
And
that's
maybe you can take some stuff out of the bag. Can the bag be repurposed? Because there's bags aren't the issue. It's what's in them. So
For
keep
sure.
the bag. Keep the comfort. Keep the it's worn, it's beautiful, it's the statement piece. But what comes out of it is what we got to deal with, right? When we unzip that sucker and whatever comes out of it is the problem. Keep the bag. I love a great bag.
I mean, I know a lot of people that love a great bag. I do.
And like you said, you paid too much for it, right?
Pay way too much.
You
for it.
paid way too much for it. And so it's not about losing the the payment. It's not about, and I'm talking to me too, it's not about losing, what the effort and the energy and the understanding you got from the situations, but hopefully when we open the bag, we're not torn apart by what we see in it because we hadn't dealt with it, or it's festered, or it's like my son's lunch that's been sitting in there since Tuesday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Forgot it was in there. And
Right.
there's things that have been forgotten in there that have created this stench that now follows us with this beautiful bag. And so
Stinking up to the leather.
stinking up the whole leather,
Stinking up
right?
the leather.
It's ingrained now in the leather.
When you say that and you're going through everything that you're saying, like the thoughts that pop into my head, and then it's causing me to really reevaluate, I guess, reassess, and kind of think as we're having this conversation, though, is that, and maybe this is the reaction of a lot of people when they hear that, maybe not, I don't know, but the thought that popped into my head was, yeah, I get that, but all of that is what makes me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. So if I take away all of that, who am I? Who am I? Am I still me?
That's the problem.
Right? Am I still me?
That is exactly the fear. Who am I without this bag? What do I do with this anger that I've created as my defense mechanism? What do I do with this fear that keeps me from trying that new business? If I don't have that,
right?
If I don't have the anger, then who am I now? And that's
nobody. You're
nobody. Just different.
So just end it all.
You're still. You're still.
That was a joke.
You complete joke.
Don't end it all, please.
Yeah, please don't do that.
Or if you do, don't tell me about it.
Don't do that at all. Right. Let's not do that.
Let's not go there. Right. This is about positivity, changing the perception, becoming better overall. And I think, like, I don't know. I can't answer that.
But what if the change that you really want, that you silently want, that you don't share with anybody, where you really, because you don't really want to stay in a hurt place. You don't really want to stay in a broken place. Some people may say, yes, that's where I want to be. That's why. But at the end of the day, there's something else in you that desires to be whole in some way, to not have to relive your past or not be broken up so much by your past. You want something greater or something more. If you didn't, you'd have been done a long time ago, but you keep moving, right? What if just taking one thing out of the bag? I didn't say dump the whole bag. And it's not taking it in shoo, because then you don't have any identity.
Right.
But
right.
What if we come in and we deal with, we pull out one thing and we say, okay, let me start with the low hanging fruit. Okay, I can move that. That can go, and you can replace it with something else. And I don't know what those things are. Every individual has those things.
Right.
And it may have been your relationship with your mom when you were growing up. It may be a relationship with a father figure. It may be a relationship with an uncle. It may be a relationship with a former teacher, or whatever it was, right? Whatever those things are, can we forget the people? It may be my own relationship with me, right? We're talking about the mirror, right? What did I do? Was I just a terrible kid that did terrible things, and that brought on some things into my life, right? That are now that I feel like I deserve because I did these bad things? No, absolutely not.
Maybe.
Absolutely not. I don't subscribe to that.
That's how I feel.
Yeah, but I don't subscribe to that, because I believe that there's enough grace in the world where every person can change and can be better, right? I believe that you can deal with the sins of your youth by doing something better as an adult, right? And But you have to look in the mirror and recognize that the sins of the youth were the issues that created what I'm doing today. And I'm ready to make a change. Easier said than done. But I'm not going to put that caveat out there, because if we keep saying it's hard, then you'll never do it.
But I don't know. I think that we should say that it's hard.
It is hard, but not too hard, not for you not to move forward.
Right, but,
you got to decide. We decide what we want to eat every day, right?
So
even if it's not what we want
at home, because eating out becomes too goddamn expensive.
Exactly.
And I'm running out of funds over here.
Okay.
So
you made a choice.
I made a choice.
And you're gonna cook at home.
Just like all the listeners can make a choice to like, comment, subscribe, and share this information,
right
because
now.
We haven't put that right now. Before we can continue on, just push the button for us, please.
Right now, immediately.
Boom, done. Subscribe and leave some comments, man. Let us know how you're feeling about everything in here. But yes, I think that having something difficult to overcome provides a level of accomplishment. Mm-hmm. So you feel like you accomplished something, but like you said, it's easy. It's always easier said than done. Yeah. I hate that. I always say it is what it is, and people don't like saying it is what it is, even though I think that's the truest statement on the planet. It is what it is, because I mean, it can't be anything else but what it is right now. I mean, that's what it is. Right. And if you change it,
it has the potential to be something else, but it is currently what it is.
It is what it is, and this is how we move forward. Mm-hmm. But easier said than done is another one, because people are just like, man, easier said than done. That's just a way of like just saying like,
you're just brushing me off, dog.
Yeah, you know, but it is difficult. And
why are we so scared of difficult?
Because I don't know, and that's what I don't understand. Because so growing up, as you grow up as a kid, like you look at kids and they're so fearless until something bad happens.
Yeah, right.
Because they don't know.
Right.
And I think that the more that we know, they say knowledge is power, which it is to a certain extent, but the more that we know, the more scared that we become. Mm-hmm. Right? When you think about growing up as a child, we had this conversation before, when I was a kid, man, shit,
jumping off or whatever's,
or I'd be all the way across town, didn't know there's all kind of pedophiles and everything else all over the place, but because you didn't know, it wasn't in the news all the time. And now
we know too much.
And I can't let my kids out the driveway.
Social media,
whatever.
Nine.
Man, let that kid go all the way down to fucking wherever, man. Who gives a shit, bro? Tell him keep them cheeks tight, and then head on down to wherever he needs to go and have some fun. Live. You can't stop people. And I think we're putting all of ourselves in a place of fear, because you know what? At the end of the day, shit happens. If it happens to you, I'm sorry. If you hurt yourself, I'm sorry. If you fail, I'm sorry. But that's part of the process. It's part of your life, part of your story, part of, it's not necessarily because of you. You didn't make this happen in all instances. Sometimes bad shit happens, but we hold on to that and we don't work through that, or we internalize that. Excuse me. And we don't get to be our full selves because of A, B, C, and D, whatever it is, and it's unfortunate. And I'm suffering from a lot of that myself. I've handicapped myself in a lot of ways. And I think for me, I've grown to like, a lot of people look at me externally, and they always just see like, hey, whatever, he's always just kind of just, it is what it is. But like, they don't know that every day, man, I'm dying inside, right? Like I'm miserable inside. Like they don't know that I have this big problem and this big problem and this big problem. They don't know that I'm dealing with this right now and this right now and this right now, but I'm still going to come in like, it is what it is. Or you're going to see me in the street and be like, he seems fine, but I'm not, I'm far from it. And that has to do with me. And can I get help? Maybe. If I speak more about it, will it make a difference? Maybe. But I also fight the person in the mirror all the time, because the person in the mirror is the same person that's holding me back from being this or this, you know, and staying focused on whatever it is that I'm trying to do, or not focusing on whatever it is that I'm trying to do because I'm trying to find a different outlet to deal with whatever the problem is. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I got it. One of the things that I've found, man, is that my worst situation is not an individual situation, right? There's somebody else, several other people who are in the same thing, have gone through the same thing, or headed towards the same thing. And I think one of the things you said in there that's important for all of us is to share that, right? As much as you can, as much as you can divulge without, that you feel like you can give up, right? That you feel like you can share or whatever and be vulnerable enough to be able to share it. I think it's important because, one, I think it helps somebody else.
For sure.
But then them saying, it's been those things that people will say, man, I didn't know you were going through that, right?
Of course.
Because always. We put on this whole facade like everything is beautiful, everything is great. We present it a certain way on social media. We present this a certain way over here. When we go out, we're clean cut. We're ready to go, right? And we present it a certain way. And then when you share with something, we share something with somebody and they're like, man, I didn't know, you were going through that.
Yeah.
Me being vulnerable about some of the stuff that I wrote in the book, people come back to me and say, man, that really helped me because I had no idea.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I had no idea. And so it's in those moments, I think, that if we can, and what it did for me, it made it valuable. It took the sting out of the situation and said, okay, there was purpose in that situation. Because if it didn't, it hurt me, but now it produced power in somebody else.
No, 100%. And I completely understand what you're saying. And it is interesting. And I think that a lot of times people, it's very hard when you're dealing with a difficult situation to see that there is the quote unquote silver lining, or see that there is a way out, or maybe there isn't a way out of that situation and it is going to crash and burn, but it is a learning experience.
Right.
But people look at those things, and a lot of people tuck them away as a negative interaction or a negative experience or a negative situation. And they don't realize that there is a power that is attached to it. Because, like, as you say, if you don't have those life experiences, you don't get the crazy stories. You don't get right. the knowledge. You don't get to have it. And now you can help, like you said, A, B, C, D, E person, and say, hey, this is how you do it, or this is how I did it, or this is whatever. And even though they're going to experience a little bit of that pain, they also get to get out of that quicker, and they can share that with more people. So every negative does have a positive to it. It may not be right now. It may not be in a month. It may not be in a year. But for somebody, that's going to change their world. Yeah. And that's a positive thing.
Yeah. And standing in the mirror and realizing that your life, at whatever stage it is in, is a beacon of light for somebody else. Right? Because they're looking at you like, oh, they got it all together. But the moment you share that, you know what, I didn't have it all together, but I'm still here. This was happening, and I'm still going. I'm still figuring it out. But if I can do it, you can do it. And sometimes that is just enough, man. We all have a different makeup. Yeah, we all have different situations. We all were raised differently and in different environments. I get all of that. But there's something that resonates, even with you and I, who are raised in two different situations, that still resonates, where something you say helps me, something I say helps you. And at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be the exact same situation, but can I apply it? Right. Can I apply it to my life today? Can I take something out of this beautiful bag, later, right? When I sit down and I reflect on what we talked about, okay, can I make a concerted effort to be better today, can I deal with something in this bag?
Yeah.
Because I just want to enjoy my beautiful bag at the end of the day, right? I earned it.
That's right.
I just want to enjoy it and not be weighed down by it.
Enjoy your bag. Handbag.
Yeah.
Louis Vuitton bag.
Whatever that bag
Overpriced
is.
bag.
Overpriced bag. Whatever it is. It is an overpriced bag. It costs a lot.
Costs a lot. Leave it there, man. It's good.
Cool.
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Hopefully you enjoyed the show. We appreciate you listening for sure. But we need your help.
Yeah, we need your help. We need you to like, comment, and subscribe so that we can continue to make great content for you guys.
Yeah. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe.